Wife Susan, I have 4 kids, 7 grandchildren. All right, that'll do it. Anyway, Richard Kramer called me the other day. I was planting out in the field, and he said he needed a speaker to come to Lucan, and I was a little skeptical, and then Richard said, "Don't worry, there's 2 other speakers ahead of you. I wanted to cover my bases and make sure in case something happened that you'd be able to speak." I'm sure I've been third string football player. Your uniform looks good. You only have to iron the backside where you sit down. Everything else is great. So yeah, I'm there. Well, then he called me a little bit ago and he said, "You're going to have to speak." And I go, "Well, what happened?" He goes, "The other 2 speakers, they canceled. They had other obligations. So being that President Obama and President Bush can't make it, Anyway, I wasn't sure exactly what I was getting into, so I looked it up on Wikipedia. I Googled it to make sure that I had this right. And Memorial Day, according to them, is a federal holiday observed annually in the United States on the last Monday of May, formerly known as Decoration Day. It originated after the American Civil War to commemorate the fallen Union soldiers of the Civil War. Southern ladies' organizations and Southern school children decorated the Confederate graves in Richmond and other cities during the Civil War, but each region had its own date. Most dates were in May, but by the 20th century, Memorial Day had been extended to honor all Americans who have died in all wars. Okay, one thing that all Legion members here today, Armed Force people here today, and I have in common with the people we're celebrating and honoring today, is we all signed a blank check. That the check said basically up to, for the amount, up to, including life, if needed. So that's one thing that everyone we're honoring today had signed that check. They said to the American government that whatever it takes, we believe in freedom. I wasn't going to make this a formal speech. I'm not really very good at that. I was at our father from Wanda there. He did an amazing job, and I can't compete with that. And besides that, it's brownie points, and I won't have to admit to send after this. But anyway, what inspired me to go a different direction? My daughter Leah always talks to my mom or grandma and tells a story. That's all it is. She tells stories about how it was like, how rough it was like, and what they went through, and all the adventures that they had. And she knows a lot about it. Tell the story, and I know the story is going to be told over and over because she's got more notes on what I did than I knew what I did, so it's good. So, and another thing that was good about that is my mom is older, so she always repeats herself, and Leah's younger and her attention span ain't good, so she needs things repeated, so they work out real well. So everyone we celebrate tonight has a story. I don't know their story. I see a lot of crosses out there, and everyone represents a story. So I'm just going to tell my story. So it all started back in Kimbry, Minnesota. One of my friends, Thomas Barons, we were talking about the old times in the Army, what we used to do, and we were eating dinner. And he lays it on me. He says, "You know what?" It was after 9/11, 2 years after 9/11. He says, "You know what?" He says, "You should get back in." I go, "Out of your mind." He says, "I've been on this for 10 years. I don't even really understand the program anymore." And he says, "Yeah, but it's the right thing to do." I was prepared for anything he would have said as far as I'm too busy, I got this going on. But when he said it was the right thing to do, everyone's got that little voice inside you. And, you know, it says, like, you should do this. And the voice says, "He's got a point there." You know? So I tried to fight with it and I couldn't. So I said, well, all right, I'll give it a whirl. I don't think I'm going to make the physical. And that's a story in itself. And I went through the physical unscathed. And I actually passed it. I do get a little jumpy every now and then when someone puts a rubber glove on and snaps the wristband. But I made it through all that. And next step was the leaving for what you don't know for sure if you're coming back for. We were going into Iraq. We were going to go south of Baghdad by 50 miles. No idea where you're going. They got the kids, the wife, everybody you want to see. You want to say goodbye to everybody. And all of a sudden, you've got about a week left. And that clock, you can actually watch it go around. It just speeds up, and you don't get half the stuff you want to get done, and you're just gone into a different world. Where we went was described as a safe place, supposedly Scania. And our colonel that we had didn't make the same deal that the unit before made with the enemy. Before they made the deal like, we'll turn our back on you and you don't fire at us and we leave in so long and you can deal with the next unit. Our colonel went over for a mission, and I'm proud that he did it. He did the right thing. And he said, no, we're going to take your insurgents. You break the law, you're going to get prosecuted, you're going to get arrested, and we're going to patrol and we're going to make this area safe. So there it started. We got mortars, we got fire, we got everything. It turned in from a safe place to we didn't know what was going to happen. The most indiscriminate thing you can do to somebody is launch a round up in the air, and you don't have any idea where it's coming down. There's just no rhyme or reason. You don't know if it's your calling or not. What life was like over there is we lived in tents, basically. What we did is we lived in tents. It was like a 15-man tent, canvas tent. And we had 8 people plus our gear. And you got just a little square, basically, with your area, and that's it. And you think women are hard to get along with. They live with 8 men. Wow. The showers were basically a trailer, a semi-trailer that they converted into showers, and they did some of that. There was actually a latrine in there, kind of. Where we walked all the time was on rocks. It was like fob rocks, they call them. Fob is a forward base, and they put rocks everywhere because it would stop snakes and supposedly all the bad critters that they got in rocks. It would deter them, so it made it safer wherever rocks were they wouldn't go. Bad part of it is it's really hard on the ankles because every step you don't know which way your ankle's going to roll. And the food was good, right? We had 4 squares a day because of our mission. We had 6 in the morning, noon, 6 in the night, and then at midnight. There was a chapel on base. We had every denomination you think. We had a chaplain. He took care of that part. We had a PX where you could basically get toothpaste, this, that, and the other thing if you needed the little essentials that you had to have. There were barricades all around where we lived, the tall cement barricades. And we had those manned 24 hours a day. During the night, we had night visions out. Some bases got shot at. We were lucky in that, right? We didn't have to worry about that. We had laundry facilities. Basically, pass your laundry in, and if people did it and got back, so we could do what we were supposed to do. There was a gym to work out with. Carrying all the weights that we had, you had to stay in shape, or you weren't going to carry the 100 pounds around you had to carry. My job description was actually quite long. I was a platoon sergeant, and basically when they found out I was a farmer and I was about 48 years old, I did everything from welding, engineering, to carpentry, to you name it. I could do everything that was given to me. I got a real long list of stuff everybody wanted my services, along with other people. We had contractors over there. As a guard unit, we have a lot of older people who own their own businesses. So we were very, very self-sufficient. I also got to be the organist over there for our chapel. Not that I was any good, it's just that nobody else wanted to do it. So, on our FOB, we had one main mission. The main mission was we were just south of Baghdad. So in all the vehicles they'd come up, they needed one staging place basically to get fueled up, get rested, and so they could go right through Baghdad. Baghdad wasn't a good place to be in. Then they go to their different supply runs. And we were responsible for manning, we were basically responsible for keeping all the bad guys out so they could